Let's have a conversation. Greetings, everybody. Good evening. If it's your first time here, welcome to my channel, which is called Mindful Reality. For those who have migrated from my other channel focuses on mental health, music, and fitness. And this channel specifically focuses on television, entertainment, and reality TV. And the unique thing about my channel, this specific channel, Mindful Reality, is that I cover TV and entertainment from the perspective of a African American mental health counselor, which is not something that a lot of other channels that I have seen provide, but I always aim to be my own unique person anyways. So when you hear me give opinions, sometimes I'll have my personal feelings on things, and sometimes, but really, when I give my breakdowns, it's more so to be unbiased, to kind of be objective, and to break things down from a psychological perspective. With all that being said, this Chris Rock, Will Smith saga, which I want to say has kind of come to a conclusion. We don't really know what Will Smith is going to do from here, but I'm going to circle back. When Will Smith first slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars last year, I wasn't watching the Oscars at the time. And then I was scrolling through my Facebook, and then I saw somebody say, "Oh my God, Will Smith slapped the blank out of Chris Rock." And I was like, "No, that's got to be a joke." So then I turn on the Oscars immediately, and I catch the back end of it when he was cursing at him. "Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth." And then I circled back until I finally found the whole video of the incident, the joke that Chris made, and Will Smith walking up to the stage. I don't have to describe it to you guys because you've seen and heard it a million times at this point. Now, some people were like, "Oh my God, it's fight night. This is entertaining." Not me. As a black man, I felt pain from this situation immediately. And the reason why is because I was like, they live for this. They live to see us fighting each other. If there's one thing that is like the highest selling thing in America, it's two black men fighting each other, whether it's for sport or whether it's in real life, like a real life beef. It doesn't matter. They love seeing us fight. So I was like, as soon as this happened, I was like, this is going to be looped on every entertainment site. It's going to be all over social media. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be TMZ, Shade Room, CNN. Anywhere that there's a news outlet, they're going to be covering this. And behind this, there's going to be two men hurting. And I know some people will say, well, who cares about if Will Smith is hurting because he's the one who did it. He was the aggressor. This is true. So they're both hurt in different ways, obviously. Chris got embarrassed on national television. He came there to do his job. He told the joke, which some would argue is in poor taste. And some would argue it's not. Some have said it's light. And then he didn't expect Will to get up there and just slap him in front of everybody, in front of the world. And Will was hurt because he had past traumas and everything just kind of boiled over for him that night. And in that 1 second, he changed the way a lot of people viewed him forever. And that's a lot of weight to hold. So they both felt it in different ways. But fast forwarding, because I already made a couple of videos on my other channel when that happened about that slap at the Oscars. This is my response to his new Netflix special that he just put out. So his new Netflix special, at least from what I've seen, has gotten a lot of flack and a lot of negativity. Now, in contrast to what happened when the Oscars actually happened, because when the Oscars happened, yes, there were some people that were like, he deserved it. He should have got slapped. He's always coming for black women. But I would say the majority were like, Will acted out of turn. He should never have done that. Chris acted like the ultimate professional. You know, he handled it so well. He didn't make a scene. He didn't fight back. It could have turned into a brawl, all kinds of things. So that was the reaction of the people at that time. Now they're saying he went too far, calling Jada Pinkett Smith the B word, calling Will Smith the B word. They didn't care as much about that. I think more the Jada part and kind of saying that she had a role in what happened too, which I do think that she did. And then the emancipation joke where he said, I watch Emancipation just to see him get whipped or just to see him get whooped or whatever he said. I mean, today's era of comedy is different than the one I grew up in because really everything he said was light compared to the stuff I watched when I was growing up, which was like Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, you know, old Chris Rock. I watched Def Comedy Jam. I watched The Kings of Comedy. Like the things that Chris said yesterday were light compared to those. But in this era that we are in now, you can't say much. So the interesting thing about this special that he did was that he didn't respond to any questions when it first happened. He would give like a little brief answer here and a little brief answer there, but for the most part, he said, I'm going to address it when I'm ready, and I'm going to get paid to address it. So he had intent to wait until he feels mentally and emotionally ready to answer questions about it. And he was going to do it in joke form so that he takes the power. He's not doing like a sit-down interview like he said. He's not going on Oprah, Gayle King, any of that. He's like, I'm going to do it the best and most therapeutic way that I know how, with a microphone in my hand in front of a stage where people can't ask me questions. I have all the power here. So he thought about this for a while. And I'll tell you something. We can't control what he chose to say on that stage. And the reason was because he had no control over the situation of getting slapped. And honestly, there's nothing he could have said on that stage that equals the pain, not even physical pain, but just the embarrassment and the hurt that I'm sure that he felt in that moment. Everyone watching is looking at it as it's like, oh, he's just saying nasty jokes. He's just saying mean jokes, you know? But imagine the guy went home on Oscars night and couldn't turn on his TV for months because every time he turned on his TV, he hears, wow, Will Smith just slapped the out of me. He sees pictures on the tabloids. He is probably constantly asked questions about this for months and months and months and months. And when it happened, he was just about to start his tour. So he couldn't actually just hide out and come back like Will did, because Will left the country. He went to like India and came back when he was ready to deal with it. But Chris had to face the public immediately. And as a matter of fact, I was at the Rock Heart tour when it came to New York. I think that was about, it was summertime, sometime last year in the summer. I think July. I went to the Rock Heart tour. A lot of the jokes that he told on this Netflix special that they paid him for, he told those same jokes at the Rock Heart tour. I'm just saying. So he kind of got paid twice for the same jokes, but most people and those who weren't there live didn't know that. So the part about Will and Jada was really the bulk of the new material that he came up with. But I'm not really that mad at the special. For me, it's like if you didn't like Chris before, this shouldn't really make a difference. And if you liked Chris before this also shouldn't make a difference. I know that we're in a really sensitive era where you've got to be careful and politically correct. And at his Rock Hard Tour show with Kevin Hart, he was very politically correct. And for this, I think he generally was pretty politically correct as well, except for that part. And I think he made it a point to do that. I think that this was his get back. Because he's not going to fight him. He's not going to put hands on him. So he's like, I want to do this with my words. You know, my words are my dukes. And I think that he was willing to get the backlash for it. And I think that he probably expected it as he was writing it. He's no dummy. He's been in this industry probably longer than I've been on this earth. He's a smart guy. He knew what he was doing. He planned it out. He mapped it out. He said what he wanted to say. He got it out. I'm not really mad at it. The only thing that I want to say is I hate seeing black men fight in any capacity, physically, verbally, whatever. On my other channel, I won't even go there, but I'll just say one thing black men seem to be groomed and conditioned to do is to fight with one another, and it needs to end. It needs to end. I actually wondered to myself if Chris was hosting like the BET Awards or something. Same thing, same joke, same everything. Would Will have felt compelled to get up on that stage and slap him? In my personal opinion, no. I mean, you guys can let me know in the comments, but in my opinion, no. I think the stage mattered. I think the place they were in mattered. I think the fact that they were at the Oscars fueled that fire. I really do. I really think that black men sometimes think that that's the thing that they're supposed to do in front of white people. Because look at the NBA, look at the NFL. Look at boxing, you know, look at all these different sports. Look at entertainers in general. One of the things that they thrive on or that they get their money on is having beefs, and specifically having beefs with other black men. It's upsetting. It's hurtful. Imagine all the different things that we could do if we worked together. Now, about Chris's jokes in general, forget the special. I do feel like black comedians oftentimes go at other black people because that's what sells. That's what's interesting. That's what's entertaining. I really feel that way. I've laughed at plenty of those jokes, so I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh yeah, I don't find any of that funny." Laughing about the scandals that are going on and laughing about the black men that are on drugs or that are going through mental health issues, cheating scandals, and all that stuff. You know, I laugh at those things too, but I just wish that we were better to each other and didn't go at one another for sport. And it might not seem like a sport to the people who are in it, but it's definitely a sport to the people around them who are watching them. we would accomplish so much more if we work together. And that's basically the message that I want to leave y'all with. So I hope that Will kind of takes this one and leaves well enough alone. And I hope that Chris feels some form of retribution and some form of peace from this situation. It's never going to completely go away, but I hope that it just simmers and eventually people can stop talking about it. Obviously now it's going to still be a huge hot topic because this special just happened. But I mean, I'm hoping down the line, this was his get back. He said what he needed to say. He got it off his chest. And I hope that both men are on the path to healing from here. But you can let me know what you think of everything in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we will talk again soon. I want to take this time to thank everybody for their support of myself, Mark, and the music and mental health movement. Please take this time to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thank you.